is up, guys? My name is Brandon, and welcome to Audio Addiction. We have our good friend in. I'm not gonna say his band name or his name or anything because I always mess people's names up on this channel. It's a running joke. So, what is your name? What do you do in the band? And what's your band name?
I am Derril. I am the singer for the Ansible.
Nice. All right. So my first question is, how did you guys start out? Did you find your bandmates through Craigslist, local shows, mutual friends? Just I've heard it all pretty much, but I'd like to get the story on that.
Okay. It kind of started on Craigslist.
Okay.
Greg is one of the guitar players. He and I started this. We met some other people, jammed. It was like, we all ended up in different directions and different bands. But he hit me up and was like, "Hey man, I got all these tracks. Do you want to sing on them?" All right, cool. So he and we actually recorded like 6 songs, and we're like, "Nope, we don't like it." Scrapped the whole thing, and then ended up writing Binary Dreams, which is our first album. So released that last year in May, and everybody was like, "Hey man, you should totally put a live band together." So we recruited Nigel, our bassist, first. We had seen him play in some other bands and whatnot here in Austin, and he hit us up and was like, "Hey man, I totally can play this stuff on bass." And I'd only ever seen him play guitar. I was like, "Nigel plays bass," but he's actually super talented. And then our other guitarist, Chris, he actually does a podcast called the Austin, Texas Metal Podcast.
Ooh.
And so he had us on as the Ansible, and then Greg and I did another band for a while, but he had us on, and I was like, "Hey man, why don't you come play live guitar? I've heard you play guitar. Like, I know you can play this stuff." He's like, "Nah man, I suck. I don't want to play it." And so for like 3 weeks, almost every day, I'd just be like, "Hey, hitting him up, texting, 'Hey man, come play guitar.'" Finally, he did a playthrough. It's on our Facebook, I think, or somewhere. But it's him in his underwear at like 4 o'clock in the morning doing a playthrough of a song. And so that pretty much solidified him. But our drummer, Darian, he's amazing. Best drummer I've ever played with. But he came in. He lived in Minnesota
Oh wow.
and had plans to move here. So he started seeking out bands, and he found us. And I was like, "Yeah, kid, whatever. Sure, you're gonna move here." Sure enough, like 6 weeks later, there's Darian at a show. Like, "Hey guys,
How's it going?
yeah." He tried out and was just like, "Yep, this is definitely the guy." So that solidified our lineup, and then local promoter here gave us our first show December 1st.
Nice, nice. That's cool. I like the whole Minnesota thing. That's like crazy
Yeah,
to me. So
it was crazy, but it kind of goes to show you how music works and how people can get together these
yeah,
days.
I mean, like that's how I found out about you guys because I actually was like scrolling through Reddit and I'm like, "Ooh, this band sounds cool." I was like, usually I try to check them out anyway because like me, I do all the like the social media and like asking bands like, "Please, can you come on, please? I would really appreciate it." And I was like, "Oh, I'll check these guys out." And so so I checked out your music. And I was just like, "Damn, this is sick." I was like, I have to get him on at any point. So thanks for
Thanks,
being
man.
on, first of all. And secondly, I'm more, it's, like I do the interviews and stuff, but it's more or less that I'm a fan of what people do as well as, obviously being an interviewer. But anyway, getting back to the questions, since you mentioned you are from Texas, what are some of your favorite places to visit, either musically or non-musically related?
Here in Austin, you mean?
Yeah.
Ah, dude, there's tons of barbecue. First of all, if you come to Austin, Texas, you gotta have barbecue.
Of course.
But man, I love Austin. I moved here about 3.5 years ago, and it's changed my life, man. Like the people here are the best part. You meet really awesome people, like all the local bands we're friends with, and there's cool venues to go to. There's anything that you'd want, like cool, just natural things. There's springs and creeks and rivers and places to go hike, and then just places to go hang out with friends, and like
Places to
it's
go
a, it's
hang
a cool
out and
town.
eat barbecue. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love
There you
barbecue.
go.
I'm from South Carolina, so I like all kinds of
Oh,
barbecue.
nice. Okay, cool. I mean, I've traveled down. I haven't been to Texas, but I'm planning to go out there maybe next year or whatever because one of my friends lives like close to the border and he works, in Mexico. But so I might go down and visit him, but I would love to stop in maybe Austin or like Dallas or something like that. So that'd be sick.
Absolutely.
I'll have to hit you guys up if I'm ever out there.
Definitely.
Um,
Definitely. Show you a good time, man.
well, thank you. All right, so my next question is, what are some of your musical influences?
All right. Personally, my favorite band is Between the Buried and Me.
Nice.
Uh, I have been a huge fan of theirs since they came out with Silent Circus. As a band, though, we have a lot of influences, man. We try to stay current with what comes out. A lot of the releases this year have been massive and just amazing. But we're like we range from Darian's 19. I'm 29. Greg and Chris are both what 31 and
Oh
32.
wow.
Nigel's 26. Like, it's a big range, so it's kind of cool because stuff that I listen to, Darian hasn't heard, and vice versa. And so, but like, I mean, I guess some of the biggest ones are going to be, bands like, uh, we're big Architects fans,
Nice.
which,
It's sad to,
s-
yeah.
yeah, that's sad. But huge Deftones fans. I don't know if
Nice. Yeah,
that rings out
Deftones.
to you or
Of
not.
course.
I love that band. They've been around a long time
Of
and have
course.
done a lot of great things to really influence. It's probably part of the reason that Greg even plays extended range guitars. So, but I mean, we all have kind of like we like a lot of the same things, but we have like real specific influences, like favorite things go within the metal genre, and I think it helps us out in being a little more diverse in our writing style, and so
Yeah, I can definitely, like you said, Between the Buried and Me, I can definitely get those vibes, especially the track that I listened to. That had a kind of definitely reminded me of Between the Buried and Me. I also got a little bit of Erra, and more recent, well, not recently, but there's this post-hardcore band. I don't know if you've heard of them. I think they're from, I don't know if they're from the Dakotas, one of the Dakotas, but it's this band called The Ongoing Concept, and your clean register reminded me a lot of this guy's vocals pattern. And you
yeah,
kind of look like him, so I was like, "Oh shit." I was like, "It's not him, but it kind of does." So that was
yeah, man.
cool, but that in terms of vocal range, that reminds me a lot of your, character and stuff like that. So that's cool. Um
I
I
do
don't
love both of those bands too.
Nice. Awesome.
We've played with Era a couple of times actually. So
Nice, yeah.
actually, our first show we played
But
with Era. So
that's sick. Yeah, I
yeah,
just saw
man.
them like 2 weeks ago now. So yeah,
Nice,
they're
nice.
crazy live. JT's the man. So
He was a good addition. I know a lot of people were really skeptical with the change, but he was in Texas in
yeah,
July before. Yeah, that dude's killer, man. He's a nice guy too. So
he is a very nice guy. Even though we met up with him on Warp Tour last year, and we were talking about like what he thought. Well, one of my friends was like, "What do you think about like Jared Alonge, the guy that does like like that, uh, you know,
yeah,
comedy
he's a
metal pretty much?"
comedian. Yeah.
And he's just like, "I think he's an asshole," and I was like, "Why do you?" I was like, "Why is that?" And he was just like, "Well, he's just like, I mean, he's just playing off of like all of the like tropes of metal music," and I was like, listen, somebody's got to do it. You know what I mean? Like Jared Dine does it. Jared Alonge does it. Like it must be a Jared thing. Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was funny. That was something I thought of. But anyway, my next question is, what have been some bands that you've been listening to more recently?
Recently I've been listening to Invent Animate a lot.
Yeah, they're killer.
Dude, was it White Wolf?
Yes.
Man, uh, it's been out for a couple of weeks now, and I've gone through it, and I knew I liked it. Actually, we had their singer Ben on one of our tracks
Oh,
for
nice.
Draw Closer. He's on Raise Lighter, which is the first single release. But they went and did that album with Will Putney.
Yeah.
anybody who knows any like tries to stick it, keep up with the production game knows like he's just basically put out the best, 4 or 5 metal albums every year for the last couple of years. He did Silent Planet's new album, which I also
Yeah.
can't stop listening to. There's just there's such like just a heavy band, obviously heavy music, but like m- you know they make you feel a lot of things when you listen to them, and I love that about music in general. Um, let's see what else. I don't know if you ever listened to The Deer Hunter. This is
Oh,
not metal at
dude,
all.
dude, dude, dude. I am so glad you mentioned them because they are like by far one of my favorites in terms of, I know it's not metal like you said, but
Yeah,
we're
no, I
I'm
yeah.
I'm all about variety. I could listen to anything from like super heavy like deathcore shit to like, Deer Hunter, like Artifex Pareo, like all those like post-hardcore kind of like I don't know, more like out of the loom sort of things.
I like how you dropped that name and you're wearing the shirt.
Of course, I love those guys. They're my favorite.
Yeah, but their newest album, I mean, it's been out probably, I don't know, 5, 6 months, I think. But
Yeah.
it's one of those things like you could put that album on like in the morning when you first wake up, and you're just like, if the first track like feels like you're just like coming out of bed, like just like So it's a they're a stellar band, and I really appreciate that. Uh, I don't know. I listened to the new Sworn In track this
So
morning.
did I, yeah.
It's super just sludgy. It's very Sworn In. Metallica put out
Yeah.
what I would say is their best single in a decade at least, longer for sure.
Yeah.
But you know, it's it's definitely stripped down compared to old Metallica. But
Yeah.
at least they're playing some thrash again.
Hey, yeah. I like the diversity though. You chose everything from like I said, you chose everything from Deer Hunter to Metallica to Sworn In to your stuff to Silent Planet. It's like I like when especially bands listen to diverse stuff because you can definitely tell even if it's not like relevant in the moment. You're like, oh well, it's not just like they listen to like either their music or like something in that same vein. I like when there is a diversity to it. So
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I grew up listening. My uh, parents both play music. My dad was in a band when he was a teenager, and played shows, and so they taught me about music, and so I've always been just super encompassed by it, and really appreciated good talent, and drive that it takes to write music. So, I mean, I listen to a lot of stuff. Any given day, you'll catch me listen to Queen, or I don't know, all sorts of stuff. There's,
no,
one too many beers, and I will definitely sing Bohemian Rhapsody for you.
well, we'll have to get on that maybe. But anyway, all right. So my next question is, how's your local scene? Like you said, you're from Austin, so I've heard good things about Texas in general in terms of just scene overall. So I'd like to know your thoughts on just Austin scene.
I love the Austin music scene in general, but the Austin metal scene. When I moved here, there was good shows and some good bands, and I've noticed in the last like year and a half, like a lot of people have really stepped up and they've started doing more and touring more and writing better music and really pushing themselves, and that's really cool to see. It's really fulfilling to be a part of the scene here. If you ever play a show in Austin, you want to play with Come and Take It Productions. Anthony and Rob are the guys who gave me a chance at playing in this band live. They put us on our, like I was telling you, my first show was our first show was in December. We played with Erra, but the lineup was with Tesseract and the Contortionist and Sky Harbor as well.
Ooh.
And we'd never played before. They let us open that show. We had to get permission from their agent or however that
Oh
worked, and
wow.
yeah, so they're really good guys, and if you know they'll go to bat for you. So if it wasn't for them, I don't think the Austin metal scene would be anywhere close to what it is. But they put on a lot of shows. They bring a lot of big tours through. They do a lot of local shows too. All ranges of music. I mean, I've seen they had Dime Fest that I went to the other night, which is a tribute to Dimebag Darrell, and it's a bunch of thrash bands and then they do one or two Pantera covers in their set, but then everything. I think they're doing. We just had Summer Slaughter tour. They're doing the Texas Revolution Fest. That's when you should come to Austin. Texas Revolution.
Texas.
That's good.
All right, I'll have to remember that one. That sounds sick. My next question is a bit of a fun question. If you guys, as a band, could pick a song to cover, what would it be and why?
Oh man, as a band,
Or you could do individually, since you're the only one on here, Daryl. Why don't we just do you for now?
I'm trying to think. I bet I could think of one for the band, but
Okay.
like if we could cover something in our style that wasn't really like a band that sounded like this, I would probably do something like Across the Universe from the Beatles.
Nice.
Uh, and I'm not gonna say that I'm like some huge Beatles fan, but I've always really loved that song, and I think that as far as like the melody of it, I think it's something that we could tackle and really make our own, but still pay tribute to them. But uh, man, we could. I don't know. That's a good question. That's something I should pose to the guys. We don't ever really talk about covers because we're always just. Dude, I was over at Greg's early this afternoon, right? New music. I mean, that's what we do. And
Well, now you know. You can show the video to him and be like, "Listen, Brandon wants to know what song we're gonna cover. I said the Beatles across the universe, so you already know which one I want to do."
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Who knows? I mean, if it could be something heavy, I don't know. It'd be cool to. I'd cover the Acacia strain.
I think the odder the better though. I feel like if it's something like that nobody would expect, I feel like that would be like way cooler.
I agree. I think that's why Across the Universe popped in my head.
I'd like that choice. You got my seal of approval on that one.
Awesome. Thanks, man. I
My
appreciate it.
next question is, what is your favorite food to eat? Well, you already answered that kind of, but
I mean, I really like barbecue, but I really like hibachi food.
ooh, nice.
And there's not really places around. That's the one food downfall. And there's not really a whole lot of places to eat hibachi.
Ooh.
Uh, where I'm from, they're like you throw a rock and you hit like a hibachi joint everywhere.
That's how it. Well, I mean, like, I'm a huge sushi eater, and we had sushi tonight for dinner because like my parents are
Nice.
away, so I get to eat well, like me and my sister get to eat what we want pretty much. So that was a little splurge moment. But um,
Nice.
getting back to the questions, what do you do for a living?
So personally, I'm a server. I wait tables. Um, I when I moved here, I did it because it was an easy job to get started. But then when I started playing music, I'm lucky enough to work at a place that's like super understanding and super down with me being in a band. And even though we haven't really toured much at all at this point, it's definitely plans for the future. And the whole staff is just like, all right, cool. Let us know when you're leaving and when you'll be back, and we'll make sure you're scheduled. Like it's, I'm very personally, I'm very lucky to have that. Like Greg, paramedic.
Oh wow,
Uh, yeah, he works for Austin. Saving people's lives, and that's pretty, that's pretty awesome.
that
I
is
mean, that's
sick.
I think it's pretty epic, and he, obviously he has it's hard for him to get time off, so he saves vacation so that we can do weekend runs and board for a week straight. And uh, Chris is a mechanic, uh, has been for a long time. He's good too. Their bus running. Otherwise, probably break down the side of the road. we put out a tour vlog, or not a tour vlog, but like a month, like the month of July, like the different shows, and
Yeah.
there's some there's some footage in it of where we had a tire blowout, and he like creepy crawled drove it to a tire place to get tires put on. So,
That's sick.
but yeah, man, we all kind of do different stuff, and eventually you could ask me that question, and you just be like, I tour.
I tour, exactly. There you go.
Yeah,
That's the end
that's
goal, right?
that's definitely, you know, we're working.
The mechanic thing's good, I'm sure, because you go on
Yeah,
tour. That's like a saving grace sort of a thing. So
yeah,
he
that's
knows.
a solid skill to have if you're
Ex-
gonna tour.
oh yeah. So that's a good pickup on your guys' end. But anyway, moving on to the next question. If you could play another musical instrument, what would it be?
Man, you know, I actually play like some brass and woodwind instruments,
Ooh, nice.
which is awesome. I have never had like good dexterity in my hands. I can't play guitar to save my life. Like I know how a guitar works, and you know, and I could write you a song on Guitar Pro, but I can't play it for you at all. Like it's so if I could play one instrument, I really wish that I can you know, especially when you're in the songwriting process and you're like, oh, what about this? And you like hum something, and they're like, all right, dude, like yeah, cool. It's like I know I suck.
uh,
Um, but yeah, that would definitely be my go-to. Would be able to play guitar better.
I mean, it's cool. I mean, I personally play guitar, so, I mean, I'd love to play a ton of instruments, but, you know, guitar is great as well. Um, I don't know how much of a video game fan you are, but, my next question is, if you could be a video game character, who would it be?
Link.
Nice. I like that choice a lot, being a, Nintendo junkie, so.
Yeah, I actually have a 64 and I've been playing Ocarina of Time.
Nice. I still have mine too, so up in my room. I have like
Yeah.
everything up till now, pretty much. All in my room. Like it's crazy.
Oh,
So
so you're like for real about
I'm
it, huh?
for real about it, yeah. I just have to get the older systems and then I'll have my complete set and things. So
I don't play so much of the new stuff. I'm definitely a retro gamer. I don't know what that means, but I know that Nigel bought No Man's Sky and has pretty much locked himself away for the next week and a half, 2 weeks. Um, Greg likes a lot of different games. He plays a lot of stuff. I don't know. Go look at like song titles off of our albums, and you'll see like a ton of like Destiny references. You know, and just games in
So
general.
there you go, guys. It's a little tidbit from the Ansible. If you like Destiny, then you'll like their song tracks and then hopefully their band as well.
Yeah, there you go.
All
It's
right.
funny because he would name songs and send them to me. You know, he'd write a song and say, "Hey, I called this one Raise Lighter." The song won't have anything to do with the game, but he'll explain to me what Raise Lighter is, and I'm like, "Oh, dude, that's dope. We're not changing that name." Like,
At least it's not like my song number one or like, cause for me personally, I'm like there will be times where I'll like write like the name of it or whatever, but then there's sometimes where I'm just like I want to record something and I'll just be like this is my song one or whatever, and then I'll forget it in like 3 weeks anyway. So
yeah, I do that too, unfortunately, like because I have GarageBand, and like say I'll think of a melody in my head, I'll go MIDI it out for like a keyboard or something
yeah.
to send to one of the guys, and 9 times out of 10 it's like a 10-second clip, but it just said that I have like my song 54 in my phone. Like,
That's great. I feel like that's a common thing amongst like people who play music or are musicians. That's like you don't want to change it because it takes time and you're like, man, like this song's cool, but like I don't have time to come up with a creative name for it, so I'm just gonna call this like my track 54-3 or whatever, like version 3 or whatever. But that's funny. My next question is, what has been your most memorable moment with the band?
uh man, thus far,
Yes.
um I mean, playing with Tesseract's pretty fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Like that's I'm a huge Contortionist fan as well. Language was definitely the album that didn't leave my my playlist for
A
it's
long
still in
time.
there, man. Yeah, so that was definitely the most memorable moment. Most recently, we played a really solid show in Bryan, Texas. It's a small town, um, and we're playing some of the new stuff, which we haven't really played out a whole bunch as of yet. And there are people up front singing with us, which is like,
That
yes, God, yes, that's awesome. Like super exciting. Like that's what I like to see. I like to see that people like it.
of
So
course. That's cool. I definitely think that that is a that's I'm sure that's a gratifying feeling as being a vocalist. I'm sure when you hear other people sing yourself. I mean, like there's moments where I'll like see ABR and I'll be like, I know all the words to that track, and I'm sure Jake is just like, good for you, man. I appreciate you. Like I'm sure you can't say it to everybody, but there's those one moments where like you make eye contact and you're singing the right thing. That's
yeah.
a cool feeling. My next question is, in your opinion, who puts on a great live show, and what has been your most favorite show you've been to?
Uh, Puts on a great live show.
Yes,
There's a lot of good bands that I've been lucky enough to see that put on good live shows. I'm gonna say the most consistent band that because I've seen them a couple of times in the last year is After the Burial.
oh, nice,
Uh, I They played Summer Slaughter, so I went and saw them on Tuesday last week,
nice.
and they're tight. They sound great. They look great. They're nice guys. Um, they'll come up and give you a hug if they know you. Like
That's sick.
yeah, it's just I that's definitely like that's one thing that we worry about is you know we gotta we have to be captivating live, and they definitely bring that to the table every time. Um, as far as bands, I mean, I love Between the Buried. I mean, that's definitely my favorite shows to go see. I think I've seen them 7 times, maybe 8 times.
Wow,
Uh, you know,
that's
I've,
crazy.
I've also been following them for a
Of
long time.
course.
Uh, so, but yeah, they're they always put on a really awesome live show, and I've never seen them play the same set twice on a
That's
tour.
cool. I like that. I mean, they have so many albums now at this point. I'm really not surprised that they haven't played the same sets, but it's cool that they switch it up. I'm sure that's a great feeling. It's the same thing with like ABR for me because I'm from New Jersey and they're very close to Philly. I would say that Philly is kind of their hometown, and I've seen
Yeah,
them probably about the same time you've seen like Between the Buried. I mean, I've seen them probably like 7 or 8 times now, just because they always play around here, and they always get me excited whenever they come around. So
yeah, I agree. I got to see them. Who do they play with? They play with Between the
they're
Buried.
buried in me. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, no, I saw that last tour. It was definitely awesome. They put on a killer show. I mean, the
Floor
entire
moves.
place was just up and down and singing, and it was awesome, man.
Yeah, totally. All right, so my next question is kind of related to this. If you could compile a dream tour, who would be on it?
Like in general, that I would play.
I mean, you can play it or you don't have to play it. You could just be like could be like a fanboy moment for you, or you could just make a tour that you could fan on but you're also a part of.
Um, Man, look, I'm gonna keep this a little simple because we'll just go off of, like what I've really been like digging as of late. So,
Nice.
um, I would love to see. I don't know. That's a tough question, man. There's so many bands. I'd end up with like 50 bands if it was like
It's like a festival at that point.
yeah, exactly. It would be like pretty much this is Derril's favorite band festival, and there would be 100 bands. I don't know. Here. I'll try to narrow it down to four. So, uh, man,
I'll give you five. How about that? We'll make it a little. We'll make it a bigger tour. So five bands.
Well, the crazy thing is, so some names pop in my head, but like, so I wanted to see Between the Baron and Me with the Contortionist, but that's already happened. You know what I mean? Like,
Of course.
I'm a huge prog nerd. Like, I love progressive music in general.
Yeah.
Um, but I would say, let's say, okay, so bands that I would love to tour with, definitely Invent Animate,
Nice.
being another Texas band that have been doing so many good things. I would love to hit the road with them and get to hang out with them every day and see them play live. Same thing, like I said, with Silent Planet. Like both of those bands, they're my two favorite releases. Um, who else? Definitely Deftones. If I ever played with Deftones, I would die a happy man. It would never matter again what I did. Yeah, I don't know. I think that'd be a solid lineup. You don't want to put too many bands.
Yeah. I dig that tour though. I like that. I like the like kind of like newer tour, and then you have a veteran of I wouldn't even. I mean, they're not really metal, but they're like hard rock. I would say. I mean, I don't even know.
Deftones. Oh, they're totally metal, man.
They're like. I
They're
guess
like
you're right. Yeah,
they're like groove metal.
groove
You
metal.
know.
There you go. But they're obviously veterans, so I like that. I like your choices. That one's cool. My next question is favorite TV show, favorite movie.
Man. Let's see. Favorite TV show. Um, let's go with. Man, I like a lot of TV shows. I like. Have you ever seen Forged in Fire? Comes on the History Channel.
Forged
Uh,
in Fire. What is it about? I feel
it's
like it sounds
it's
familiar.
it's a blacksmith competition, man. Like
Oh, nice.
I
There
think
was
it's
this.
all.
There. I was thinking of something else, but it's on YouTube. They make like video game like weapons, and it's on
Yeah,
YouTube. It's crazy. That's awesome.
it's kind of like that, but like they hand forge like crazy weapons,
Of course.
and I like seeing like I like craftsmanship a lot. Like you know, seeing people actually work with something and make it what they want. Um, so I like that show a lot. It's kind of cheesy, but I mean,
Hey.
I love Game of Thrones and Walking Dead and all those shows too. I try not to watch too much television. There's always something else you could be doing, but
Of course.
every now and again you'll have to take that day where you're like, I'm gonna binge watch something for 6 hours and I need some food and I don't want to leave my house. So we've all been there.
Of course.
As far as what was the other part of that
Favorite
question?
movie.
Favorite movie of all time, definitely Dumb and Dumber.
Nice. I like that choice a lot, actually. I'm a huge comedy fan, so I'm kind of a goofball, so I love that. I love that sort of like comedy stuff. But I like the Forged in Fire kind of a thing. That was cool, or whatever the hell the name is. I'm not good with names, but
I know it's different. It's on
but
the History Channel, man. I watch a lot of like History Channel and Discovery.
hey, that's fine. I watch a lot of Food Network, so I'm all about that Food Network stuff. So
Well, I work
I
in I work in a restaurant, so I don't. I get
that
home
is
and I'm
that's
not
true.
cooking food.
You're like, I don't want to see any more food. Like, I want to see some like real like men cutting up some metal or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And my
Super metal.
super metal. I'm in a metal band and I watch metal being carved. Um, my last, well, my second to last question is, I think you kind of answered it, but favorite video game.
My favorite video game
Yeah.
uh, is definitely Mario Kart 64
Ooh,
or GoldenEye.
ooh. I like both choices.
Like I spent a lot of time in my teen and early 20 years just playing that game with three other friends, like all the time.
That's sick. And lastly, um, tell them about your band, where they can find you at, first of all. Secondly, any music, events, anything coming up in the foreseeable future. So,
Cool. Um, so again, I sing for the Ansible. We have a new album out. It's called Draw Closer. Came out in June. So we're pushing 3 months coming up on that. There's a couple of singles out that you can find on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. We've got Facebook. We're on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. Bandcamp if you want to buy the digital release. We've got a big cartel for merch. We're in the talks of trying to get some tours together. Maybe a couple of weeks before the end of this year, but definitely working on something with some friends of ours for probably early January.
Nice.
So obviously we like to keep people posted on what we're doing and where we're going. So we'll definitely, as soon as we've got that solidified, we'll let you know.
Nice.
But yeah, you can check us out. We play in and around Texas pretty consistently. So we'll be getting out. We'll be getting out and doing more things soon. We promise.
Nice. Any possibility for the East Coast that you could possibly maybe hint about?
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm from the East Coast, and I haven't played a show on the East Coast
There
in
we go.
9
Oh
years.
wow,
So
shit.
it would be cool to, no, not that long. Maybe like 7 years. But it would be cool to go back and play with, see some old friends I would definitely like to come up to Philly.
Yeah,
It'd be cool.
that'd be sick.
We'll
Well,
be
I don't technically live in Philly, but that is the closest center to where I live. I live out in like the boonies in New Jersey, so
Okay.
yeah, so I'm a little country kid, so but thank you, Derril, for being on. Definitely go check out the Ansible. Awesome stuff. If you like kind of like progressive, what do you call yourself? Like progressive metalcore kind of gen a little bit?
Yeah, we get a lot of that.
Okay,
Like,
well,
we
whatever.
just tell people progressive metal and they take it however they want.
They play music. Just that's how all you have to
Yeah,
remember is that
absolutely.
they have instruments and they play things, and sometimes they use their mouth to say stuff. So just remember that. But seriously, go check them out. I'll make sure to leave all the links where you can find them at Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, whatever. I will make sure to leave all that in the description. And hopefully we'll see you guys again on the East Coast, in the foreseeable future. And thank you for being on, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
So did you like the video? Then make sure you subscribe to Audio Addiction's channel by hitting that button right over there. Subscribe to our channel helps you stay up to speed on all of our latest content. Speaking of latest content, you can check out a recent episode from our live weekly show right down there, as well as a recent album review right over there. And you can check us out on social media right over there. So what are you waiting for? Let's talk music.